Okay, let's stay in Washington since we're in the realm of Washington. Everybody who's tweeting will like this part of the conversation. You're running for the Senate. You sure?
Yeah.
You don't want to commit any news sitting here and say that maybe you're thinking differently about it, because there are an awful lot of people who either want you to run for governor or think you're going to run for governor despite what you say today.
Well, you remember the last time you asked me that
I've asked you
question?
this about 800 times. I've never gotten anything out of you. Let's try this
No,
time.
well, I'll stick to the answer I gave you the last time you asked, which is that really I had a secret agenda to wait till we seceded from the Union, then run for president.
It was funnier back when it was secession time, though. In all seriousness, so there are people who say, well, let me ask, before I get into the governor thing, let me ask you to say in front of everybody, why are you running for the United States Senate?
Look, I'm running for the Senate because I think we need a voice in D.C. that'll just do what's right for Texas and not for one wing of one party. And I think we need a voice in our state that represents a public interest, somebody trying to represent all Texans, the values of our state, not some other state, rather than a special interest group. And we need that right now. So, that's why we need to reduce the deficit. We need to, wean our dependence on foreign oil and have more sustainable energy policies. We, at all levels of government, and state and local, or perhaps even more important than federal on this, need to educate our young people better, cut the dropout rate, remove barriers to higher education. These are important things for our state. And just to keep ahead of you, governorship is important too, but there's only one of me.
But your background is in executive leadership. Whether it's been CEO of a company or mayor of Houston, you have been a politician whose hallmark has been executive leadership. Being one of 100 in the Senate or one of 535 in Congress does not play to that particular strength, whereas being governor of a state, even in a weak governor state, it's all about executive leadership. How does that square?
Oh my God, goodness, nobody's ever said that to me before.
Oh, well. You want to talk about secession again? Come on.
I got to process it.
Yeah.
I mean, I think you need people who are making laws, who have been responsible for implementing laws. Otherwise, it's a disaster. Right. People can, well, you're reading in the newspaper these days about all the things, tax incentives of the IRS, where the IRS has got it wrong a lot of times just because there are so many incentives built in. They sent checks that they weren't supposed to send. They didn't send the checks they were supposed to send. Same thing, I don't care anything from military operations to making sure that stimulus funds get into the hands of people who can spend them and are spent within the time periods. You need to have had some operating experience in order to do that. But I'm not going to get into this, and that's important. The state have a governor as a leader too. So, I can only run for one thing at a time.
Is there no circumstance that you can imagine, none at all, in which you would move over from the Senate race to the governor's race?
Well, certainly if they change the Constitution to make it so that senators serve for life and they grandfathered current people. No, I really don't gauge in hypotheticals. I'm sorry.
So you are not running for governor, conclusively?
I'm running. I mean, the papers I filed legally say I'm running for senator. That's what I'm doing.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were going to ask the ideal senator from Texas, and I
think I know what your answer to that is.
Balding. I don't know. If you want to say, how will somebody misconstrue this? I'm a Texan. This is what our governor should be. Forget the politics of it. The governor should be a leader and not a follower. A governor should be somebody who decides that, they're not a protester. They're not on the outside. They're responsible for leading the state. The governor should be somebody who doesn't pit Texan against Texan. The governor of a state where the two parties are fairly evenly divided with a large independent section. And by the way, this should also apply to senator in many regards. should be somebody who is not so overtly partisan, because that will interfere with your ability to bring people together to get things done. I don't care, Democrat or Republican, they shouldn't be going to upstate New York to, campaign for a congressperson. There's a lot of work to be doing right here in Texas. Senator or governor, when there's appointments, the litmus test should not be how much money somebody contributed to your campaign. And if you appoint good people to places in offices where they ought to be, then, they don't all of a sudden become unqualified just because they support an opponent. The business of state government, be it state representative, state senator, lieutenant governor, speaker of the House, the principal business line of state government is education. And of the days of the year, you ought to look at how people allocate the time, and if improving the schools of the state should be reflective of the most important business of that job and other jobs. Just like with me in the mayor's business, and for the mayor, my most important businesses, the things that I do to serve the public, are public safety, infrastructure, water, sewer services, maintaining good streets and roads, and making sure that we are able to improve our neighborhoods with parks and libraries and pick up the garbage on time. That type of thing, that they're all important for job development. So I've given you.
But just to wrap this up, to the questioner's point though, does it matter to you running for the Senate whether there's a strong Democrat on the top of the ticket? Do you distance yourself from anybody else running, or do you tie yourself to the fate of the ticket that happens top to bottom?
I'm really not sure what operationally that means. That is, I'm not one of these people who decide that I'm going to have my picture not taken with somebody or shy away because somebody will frame it and send it on YouTube, or whatever. I mean, my goodness, I have my picture taken with almost anybody who wants to take a picture with me, if I have time. So I'm not one of. I'm not a good schemer. Okay, in other words, but.
Well, then you'd be a lousy governor after all.
But I'll run based on who I am and what Texans are, not based on what somebody else wants to do. Right? That's the best I can say.
Well, I'll tell you what you are, Mayor White. You're a good sport because you put up with this for an hour and you didn't crack, and I appreciate it. And I know how much we all appreciate the fact that your schedule is very busy. You spent time with us. We thank you very much. Regardless whether you win, we wish you good luck and thank you for your service to Texas.
Thank you very much.
Mayor, thank you. Appreciate it.